food ran out at the end of my first week adrift. I had learned the first night to use a piece of the torn mainsail to collect dew and rainfall in a bucket, but the prospect of starving to death had not really occurred to me.
Overturned cars, broken windows, buildings on fire, people running down the middle of streets. All the roads and highways were jammed. People were fleeing on foot, walking across bridges and along highways.
I had become so accustomed to self-reliance that the prospect of being stranded in the ocean in a damaged skiff had not crossed my mind.
When I finally got off the highway and cut onto this country road, my mind really opened up for a moment.
I had assumed that even though the radio was broken, someone would have reported me missing, and I would be picked up at any moment. It was only in the absence of anything to eat that I realized the reason no one would come for me was because I had not told anyone where I was going.
It's not only that people on the other side of the world could affect me, but that I am these people, that I am the sky above me, the washboard dirt road beneath me, the trees I was passing in a blur, the fields that rolled through the valley behind me, that I am the world. Where before my mind had seen these separate entities as bouncing against each other like some giant pinball machine, now it seemed as though they were all of one wave, of one ocean.
Estimates at this time are unreliable, but city officials say that at least 2 million people, and possibly twice that many, have fled the metropolitan area. As egress routes are limited, the result has been massive traffic jams. The effect throughout the state and around the rest of the country as well has been to make travel of any significant sort virtually impossible. Now, instead of being stranded in their homes, many people are stranded at the roadside. As a temporary crisis, this is bad enough, but the governor's office has just released a statement indicating that if the crisis is not alleviated in some fashion within the next 10 to 12 hours, that it could become a catastrophe in itself, as trapped motorists are forced to cope with the lack of food and water and the possibility of inclement weather. For more on this story and other breaking news, stay tuned to Lead Line News.
Looking at the news, it seems insane to have tried to get out at all, but I do feel safer now that I'm here.
That would be the radiant power of my manly presence enveloping you.
I don't know if your manly presence is strong enough to envelop you, much less anyone else.
Well, it may not be as strong as your manly presence, but I do the best I can.
Where were you when it happened?
I was sleeping in my bed. I was dreaming that I was on the Lower West Side and that all hell was breaking loose and that I was running along with everyone else trying to get away from something. I woke to the sound of the phone ringing. It was a friend of mine telling me what was happening.
We're lucky to be together.
We'll be lucky if tomorrow isn't worse.
We're already lucky. We're not the ones who are dead.
I don't think we'll be lucky enough not to know somebody who died today.
I already do.
Who?
My friend who called me. She was so scared. I tried to talk to her to calm her down. She said that she wanted to try and call her mom again, and that she didn't want to die. And then she hung up. I hadn't thought about her in months, and when I did, I would postpone calling her because I thought I was too busy, and I didn't know if we had enough in common anymore, and I really can't believe that was the last time I'll ever speak to her.
I'm sorry.
The ones who should be sorry never will be.
When are we sorry when we should be?
What does that mean?
I don't care what that means.
This may sound like a stupid question, but what does that mean?
I mean, I'm not interested in discussing what's happening while it's still happening. We can discuss the rights and wrongs and the innocence and the guilt later, but right now, yelling at each other is not going to make anyone feel better.